Welcome to Blue Tinted Glasses, the home of Leicester City talk on YouTube. Fan debates, live watch-alongs, post-match reactions, and all the Foxes banter you could ask for. Subscribe now and see the game through Blue Tinted Glasses.
Just into race clear. He's got Jamie Vardy with him. Jamie Vardy sets off. Jamie Vardy! Back here for Fatawu. Oh, he scored! An absolute belter! That is trademark Abdul Fatawu.
This one into the box. Nugent over the top. Oh, what a goal! David Nugent's just scored a beauty. He's made Forest look like fools.
Premier League champions 2016. The amazing Leicester City.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses. Good morning. It is a good morning this time, not a bad morning. Here, there's Kate. Here she is. Got a coffee. Hope you're all doing well. Make sure to get your comments in throughout the course of today's stream. Lots to talk about. Lots of positive things to talk about. Maybe one or two negatives. I don't know. It depends how we're feeling. But yeah, we'll talk about it all. So yeah, make sure to hit a like on the video as well. Make sure to hit subscribe too. If you're watching over on Twitter, come over to YouTube and get involved in the live chat. Before we get into it all, Nick is here. Morning to you, mate, from Atlanta. Kunal, Kit, Wolf Henry's here. Neil, Azola, Frankie, hello to you, mate. Hope you're doing well. And West Country boy, morning from a happy West Country. Tom, hello, mate. Good to see you. What's going on? How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. You'll be happy when we finally win a game of football after a couple of poor results. So, yeah, all good this morning.
Happy days. Kate, hope your coffee's nice, mate. Mine is. What's going on? You all right?
Thanks. Yeah, I'm good. Still getting over the shell shock of yesterday in a good way. 3 goals to the good before half-time was amazing. But we didn't make it easy for ourselves in the second half. But that's the Leicester way, isn't it? But what a day out. Really enjoyed it. I felt like that's a football performance of old where you just come away feeling really good about it, and that's why you go.
Yeah, I spoke to Imran. He said it was a great away day. Good atmosphere. So, yeah. Graham, you're back in the UK. You've got your scarf on, mate, nice and cold. You've got your... Oh, wow, look at that. Big G. The big G. Big G. There we go. How are you, mate?
On the other side.
That's a grenade.
There's a what? There's a W
There's
on
a
the
W
other
on
side.
the other side.
How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, yesterday was a real retro feel for me, is that I didn't realise that the match was going to be on ITV. So it took me back to the Star Soccer days, where Sunday there would be a football match, a live football match on terrestrial television. But the best part of it was a mate of mine who got all his grandchildren round. So there's 3 or 4 grandchildren going berserk and running round and enjoying the match. So, yeah, good afternoon it was.
Sounds like absolute hell to me, that, mate. Sounds like hell. Yeah. Anyway, right. So there's a comment here. Frankie says should have been 4 if it wasn't for the officials, but then again, water's wet. Yep. Yeah. So Tom, you were at the away game, mate. Let's start with the atmosphere, mate, because obviously we've spoken a lot over the last few months. Well, I suppose the last couple of years about the atmosphere in the ground, home and away, really very toxic at times. How was it yesterday, mate?
First half, absolutely amazing. Second half, full of frustration. I think Kate was there as well, and you could feel the frustration that fans were wanting subs and everything to happen quicker than they did. But it reminded me of being there in 97, 98 when Heskey, Marshall, Marshall again, scoring goals, 4-0 up at half-time. I was at that game. I was very young at that time. But, yeah, the first half, absolutely bedlam. And what can you say? You weren't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. To go there and be 3-0 up after that, 30 minutes. Could have been 4 and it should have been 4. But amazing atmosphere. Jordan James getting all the praise beyond the year. That song is now cult hero probably in Leicester at the moment. And, I think everyone's waking up singing the ABBA.
Yeah. I was going to say, back in the 90s, Tom, how old were you? 25?
Ouch.
Sorry,
He
I
wasn't
had
saying
to.
that to Kate.
I was gonna. I would have said it to Steve if he was here, but I said it to you instead. Go on, Kate. Talk to me. I mean, you speak a lot about the atmosphere, obviously in the away end sometimes. How bad it can be. I mean, it wasn't long ago we were talking about Norwich, right, where those chants were being sung. How did you find it yesterday?
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was a really good atmosphere, and I didn't feel frustrated second half. I felt nervous. I felt at half time we needed 5 just to make sure. And even then it would have been a nervy second half. But it's always going to happen. With a 3-0 lead at half time, it's not going to be a mirror image second half. You're not going to win 6-0. It doesn't really happen. So I knew that the second half was going to be about protecting what we've got. We'd have to dig deep because Derby would just come at us with nothing to lose. And I think that's what happened. And, it's kind of, it's always about that when you're going with such a big lead at half time. And it's just being able to soak up the pressure, which was another side of our game, which has been so poor. We've not been able to soak up any pressure, but we showed we really could yesterday. And there was some desperate defending at times, but similarly, some valiant efforts, Yannick's clearance, Jakob pulled off some great saves. Like, you kind of want to see that side of Leicester as well, that grit and that fight. And it was a unity. It didn't make it for an easy watch, but I was more nervous than frustrated because Derby throw the bus at us, and they did.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, Graham, I'll come to you, mate. The last game in particular, Sheffield United, we were 3-0 down. We'd conceded 3 by half time, and yesterday, mate, we go into half time at 3-0 up. I mean, Bobby Reid on the 8th minute, Oliver Skipp on the 15th minute, Jordan James on the 31st minute. I bet you couldn't believe what you were watching, mate. It was like it was very different to the previous couple of games.
It was. I'm going to say that I think that I'm going to put it out there. I think we turned a corner. I think we turned a corner at half time on the Sheffield United game. Dumping the 2 guys off the pitch, not letting them near the squad, give Skips a load of confidence. And like I was getting all arsey last week, it's a game of 2 halves. You can't expect Derby at home. They've got a right roasting at half time. They're going to come out. We have a 3-goal lead. The 2-goal lead is a really dodgy one, but 3-goal lead. We're getting this. We're backing off. We were pushed back, and I was going to have a go at Steve about the stats. There was only one stat in that second half that mattered: is that we won. Yeah, I mean, everybody committed. Daka heading away from a corner near the edge of the 18-yard line. Thomas, who gets so much shit, he was doing it. Ayew first half, 3 fouls in the first 7 minutes. Interrupting play. It's a whole team performance. But the most enjoyable bit of the first half was the boos at half time, knowing they weren't for us.
I thought they were. I said yesterday, I thought they were booing the shirt sponsor because they couldn't boo the performance. So I thought they might be booing BC Game or something like that. Because
I did get that one, but it probably went above heads of a few people. So
probably upset a few people. Yeah, you can't say that. Illegal sponsor. No, I mean, Tom. What did you think, mate, when you saw the first half in particular? Because there's been a lot of talk about the style of play under Marty and what he should change. A lot of talk about one thing in particular I think which was noticeable, Tom, was we've quite often played a high line with Vestergaard and Thomas, and that's been exposed time and time again. Whereas yesterday I think we did sit deeper. I mean, we had less of the ball, right? That's something that we don't always have, and we played quicker. We did play quicker, and the thing that really annoyed me yesterday, Tom, was we had people in our live chat saying, "Oh, Marty's fluked this," and I'm like, nah. For me, Tom, there was a clear switch up in how we played. Marty did change it up, and it worked.
We changed it up because we played faster football. That was the difference. Yeah. We weren't mucking around with the ball at the back. If there wasn't an option to pass it, Ben Nelson just lobbed it forward and didn't try and take any risks. You played it through the lines quicker. You got the ball out to Abdul. He's still very, very short of confidence, bless him, at the moment, to try and do much. I didn't think he had the best of game just there. Helped set the goal up, but he still looks very shaky. It doesn't look like the Abdul from a couple of years ago flying his man. But overall, moving the ball forward, moving it through the lines, Skipp breaking it up, Jordan James being the playmaker instead of Winks, Bobby Reid attacking with, a purpose. But the biggest thing yesterday, what made all the difference, and we saw it second half against Sheffield United, a bit of grit, a bit of determination, a bit of, I'm not getting bullied off the ball, hungriness to get the ball and trying to drive instead of going backwards. Those things alone will buy yourself into Leicester. You will get, Leicester backing you. You saw it against Sheffield United in the second half. The fans backed that performance because there was something there to back the first half. Having that grit, hunger and desire, commitment goes a long way with Leicester fans. That's all we want to see. If you try, Leicester fans will get fully behind you. We saw that. But changing it, playing quicker football, not passing around at the back, not, 20, 30 passes before going forward. It made such a difference. And if Derby couldn't cope with the overloads we were creating, and there was, as they picked up on ITV, they had 5 men for the first goal, all went out to Abdul because they were so worried about him. They left everyone else free in the park. So there was a totally different way we played, not playing Harry Winks, not playing Sideshow Bob. Makes a massive difference. It really does, because they don't care. I saw players on the pitch yesterday who actually cared. And for me, the young kids coming on care because they want to play well for that club they're coming through. So play some more of the kids if you have to. Don't want to see Faz, don't want to see Winks. Ship them out in January, whatever you need to do, but keep them away from that squad of players, because the second half against Sheffield United, Graham's right, and that first half, there was definitely a different team out there on that pitch who looked like they were a unit and a force together.
Yeah, I mean, Kate, how did you find the way we played? Because as you said, or as Tom said, it was a lot quicker. I think there was less pissing around at the back, which will please a lot of people. I think there was more long balls. Like that was pretty obvious. Jakob's not it's not his greatest strength, unfortunately, but he was hitting them quite long. Quite often. I think Ben Nelson seemed to me very much like a no-nonsense centre-back yesterday, Kate. I mean, when the ball came into him, just get rid of it, which I think we don't see enough and angers a lot of people normally. So what did you make to all of that?
Yeah, we just kept it a bit more simple at the back. But for me, I just think the second half against Sheffield United, when Winks was switched at half time, wasn't he? And we saw it was almost like a light switch moment in that second half. We could have got a draw against Sheffield United. It probably would have been generous to give us a draw, but we could have done it. And I felt like that second half performance rolled into the first half yesterday. Yeah. And it pretty much consisted of a similar team as well. So having Nelson back was brilliant. I'm not going to slag Marty off for including Fast because he had no bloody other option. We have been bare bones at the back again. So seeing Nelson come in, you can absolutely see why that Marty's now picked him. He's got that calmness about him. I think Pipes gave him man of the match, which I wouldn't deny either. I thought he was outstanding. He just got that calmness about him that I think you used to get from Wes Morgan and Matty Elliott, that once they're in charge of the ball, if they'll try and do an intelligent pass to retain possession, don't get me wrong, but they won't always look for it as the default. Nelson put it out for a throw a few times and just did the basics really well, and that's what a safe pair of hands looks like. And that, I think, that calmness perpetuates onto Vestergaard and Thomas and Ricky P as well. Ricky P had his best game for a while yesterday. Is that because he's always playing with Fast and he's having to think for 2 people all the time? Like, you don't know, do you? But it's nice to see that hard work is starting to be rewarded at Leicester in the team selections and in the efforts on the pitch. And that's what was great to see yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, Graham, there's a comment here that says, who cares about possession? Win the ball back and play forward with purpose. Football is miles better like that. I mean, we let them have the ball, right, Graham, which usually we wouldn't. I mean, a team like Derby, rock up, and many teams this season have rocked up and we've kind of dominated the ball. But I think we had like the third or second best most possession in the league this season, but yesterday we let them have it and we hit them on the counter when we could, or just not even necessarily the counter, more the transition where it wasn't every single time bombing forward in numbers, but I think when we did attack, when we did transition, it was with intent, and I mean, we scored 3 goals in the first half. It clearly worked.
Yeah, for me it was a team performance. Again, I'm going to go on about stats. You can have stats about anything, but you need the whole team to be on it. or at least 7 or 8 of the 11 to be on it. And we had the whole team on it yesterday. I mean, the first goal was Ayew in the middle of the park, banging a ball forward across to start the play, like you said, in transition. I know Fatu is not good at the moment, but I was thinking second half when we came out, Derby would still be looking at those two wingers and thinking, yeah, we got to go for goal, but we slip up, either one of those can ruin the rest of our afternoon. So I think I almost feel, and this is going to sound weird, that the manager wanted to play this way, but with people like Winks in it, Skipp, he didn't turn backwards again yesterday, like he did in the second half for Sheffield United. It's almost as if, Winks had the voodoo curse on him. I'm the playmaker, you play like I play. He played with a smile on his face and less hair than the week before, but, that's something that he's going to have to face up to. But so chuffed for the boy. And obviously the team are playing for each other. So football teams evolve, and this has that feeling. And I'm going early. Fuck it, I'm going to go early. This is how we changed Leicester City when it was the season when we got we were going to get relegated. Something happened. Albrighton came in, moved a few players around, and suddenly we clicked. I don't actually think we'll get promoted this year, but a good run in the playoffs. We're like you just said earlier on, we're a team in transition, but it's much more fun to watch this. But we also have to face the fact that when teams come to Leicester, we are going to have to play more possession football, or even more professional football, because that's what teams do. For the whole of my life, teams come to Leicester, get behind the ball, we do all the nice fancy stuff, and then they break away and score. So it's just a nice balance we've got to get.
Tom, I mean, let's talk about this guy here, man. I mean...
No, for God's sake, come on, can it? Some bloody Welsh git, for God's sake.
Hold on, I've got something to play with there. There we go. I mean, Tom, mate, I put in a tweet yesterday, you will struggle to find a Leicester fan that doesn't say he's their favourite player at the moment, because this guy, he's on loan. He's a loan player, Tom. There's no guarantee he's going to be here next year, but this guy, I think, tries more than anybody else. I think he's very vocal now as well. He already feels comfortable enough to... I always talk about the last game, Sheffield United, when we went 2-0 down, he was the one kind of barking at our players, and so he's got that leadership quality about him as well. And he can't stop scoring either, Tom, which is a bonus. I mean, I don't know about you, mate, but I absolutely love this guy.
Play him as the position he played yesterday, and you see the best player in him. A box-to-box midfielder who can get forward, who can get back and do his defensive duties, makes the timings of the run. Reminds me of for a Leicester legend of Andy King, who used to do exactly the same. That goal where he pops up in the box at the right time and pokes it home. Andy King used to do the same kind of stuff. Jordan James could be a hell of a player if he wants to be. Can we start a GoFundMe page for him? Because it's only $5 million we've got to pay for this kid. So I'm sure Leicester fans can find $5 million if the club can't to buy this kid, because he is some superstar. He's going to be a top player, this boy. And do you know what? The way he talks, the way he handles himself over the last few weeks, when a lot of players have been snapping back, what a couple of our players have, he hasn't been. He's gone, wait and see, watch us. And he's shown it on the pitch by his performances week in, week out. Yesterday, the Sheffield United game, we're seeing the person that needs to be next to him, his little partner, Skipp. Isn't a big bloke, but does all the stuff that he needs to do, and then lets Jordan James do all the nice touches and the flair stuff. Skipp just breaks it up and goes, you do the rest, mate. And that's all he did. Them two working in tandem yesterday was, for me, why we won that game. Nelson had a good game. I gave it to Skipp and James in the middle of the park. So I thought those two ran the show, and Derby didn't have any midfield. They couldn't cope with them. They couldn't cope with that battle. They're winning everything 50-50 first half, winning the second balls. Jordan James just gets better and better each game he plays for Leicester. And hey, Who knows where he's going to end up at the end of the season? Yes, we've got an option to buy for 5 million, and the club don't take that option and get it happen as soon as they can. Then they'll be nuts, because he really wants to be at this football club. He's even said it, he wants to stay at the moment. He's happy. He feels loved. He says he's not felt loved by any other club he's been at, the way he's come in to be loved by Leicester, the fans, the players, teammates. So, look, make it happen. So we've got to do. Find the 5 million. It ain't much.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. I mean, Kate, there's loads of comments coming in. You got Imran says Jordan James is a Welsh Gerrard. JJ is a baller. He'll be our player of the season. Can anybody confirm what these comments were at full time that some fans are moaning about? Does anybody know? I don't know. Unless Reece is talking about the comments he made earlier in the week. I know earlier in the week, Kate, that he said, you know, if you think Leicester are going to be in League One next season, you're nuts, basically. I mean, for me, Kate, if there's anybody who can say that right now, it's him. You know, I think he even said, I will not let Leicester play in League One next season. And I mean, he's doing his goddamn best to make sure we're not in League One next season, Kate.
Yeah, I did see that comment, actually, and people were talking about it, giving them James Maddison vibes, weren't they? And God, what's wrong with manifestation, man? What's wrong with it? Positive mindset for the whole of the season to say, well, I will not let this club sink. And God, if your mentality is not there, then it doesn't matter what happens physically. I'm all for it, man. It's not, I didn't really criticize Maddison for it at the time. Like, you just want to see somebody who cares and say, do you know what? Not on my watch. And JJ is just a captain in the making. He gives me that sort of leadership vibe of what Elliott used to do, what Walsh used to do, wears his heart on his sleeve for Leicester and comes over all the time to his fans, beating his chest. He absolutely loved scoring yesterday. Puts himself about a lot. He's such a clever runner as well. Like, every goal he scored arriving into the box, he's just not picked up. He knows that perfect time to run into the box and score when players just are looking at something else. And it's just a real unique skill. But yeah, his position is definitely in that 8 role, isn't it? The 10, I think he's actually grown into. He's still not as good at it as, say, maybe Bobby is. So I don't want to see him in there. But if we can keep Bobby fit whilst Ramsey's recuperating, then hopefully that will start to really tick for us. But yeah, he gives everybody so much confidence, doesn't he? And he gives fans confidence that there's someone on the pitch that is grabbing it by the scruff of the neck. And he does give me Gerrard vibe. He's very similar in his movement to Gerrard, but also from a Leicester point of view, he's your KDH, he's your Drinkwater.
Yeah.
Like, he's got that kind of ethos in him that just wants Leicester to win. And it's really great to see. And I just hope we can get it over the line. I can't see why we wouldn't. As long as the worst case scenario doesn't happen with relegation, I think we've got a good chance of keeping him, really.
Yeah, I mean, Graham. Before I come to you, mate, I'll play this video that Tom sent yesterday of the singing of Jordan James to the tune of ABBA. So here we go. There we go. You can hear Tom's good singing there in the background, mate. Don't give up your day job, Tom. Don't give up your day job. But Graham, I mean, it shows how much he's loved, mate. I mean, I think Leicester fans sometimes are a little bit poor. It takes at least a year, I think, sometimes for players to get their own chant, and JJ's got his already. Yeah, Graham, I mean, talk to me about him, mate, because I think, as we're seeing in the live chat, everybody absolutely loves him. And from day one, Graham, in his interview on deadline day when he joined, he said, you know, him and his dad used to speak and used to say that Leicester would be like the perfect club for him. And I'm just so glad that even in this shit season, Graham, the away fans, the home fans, they're all showing him the love, because any player could easily, with the shit show that's been going on in the stands and on the pitch and behind the scenes at Leicester, they could be like, no, I don't want any part of this. And it may still happen. He may still decide not to join us. He can turn us down. But I think the fans are doing their best to welcome him with open arms.
Blocks, can I ask you a question? It's an American saying, but have you got wood?
Yeah, mate. I'll tell you what. Yesterday, when that goal went in, my desk was like this. Ooh.
That's it. Well, the one thing I'm certain of is nobody can love him more than you do. But it's been a long time since you've had a player that we can, I can name them, going backwards, but I won't because it's boring. But this guy has got something. I love the attitude. I love what he said. And just know what, if you want to find who the miserable fuckers are, just look at the people that moaned about what he said. Yeah, because it's like, well, it does last year's five, he's this and he's that. Oh, get over it. At least somebody had the bollocks to stand up there and say, I'm not going to let this happen. And if it does happen, well, we won't be keeping him anyway. But I've got a question, guys. January, can we buy him in January? When is the... well, then, if we don't get absolutely mullered by the guys from on the PSA or whatever it's the thing we've got to face up to. If we don't get mullered on that, I think they'll buy him, and it will be like a new signing if we buy him. They'll give him whatever wedge he wants because they know that other clubs eventually will want him, and if we have to sell him, we can make money. But build a, as they always say, build a team around somebody, and he's a player to build a whole team around.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I totally agree. I mean, we can buy him as soon as January, I'm pretty sure, as long as the finances are there or whatever. I mean, a lot of the time when you've got these option to buys on players, sometimes the money's set aside already, right, so that you can do it. But he like I said, he can turn us down. That is a possibility. I mean, if a Premier League club came in for him, then he can turn Leicester down. But if he wants to join, then Ren have to accept our bid, basically, and I think it's about 5 million quid. So
keep showing him the love. Just keep showing him the love. You camp outside his house locks. Tell him every morning when he walks out the door how much you love him, and we'll take it from there. And it's a I would have the conversation with him. Look, come with us. We'll pay you a good wedge. Stay a few years, and you'll get the move that you want.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, he'll be playing in the Premier League with or without us. Sorry, I'm flustered, JJ. No. Now I know how I feel when like my girlfriend's obsessed with all these musicians and all of that. I'm like, I feel that way about JJ. No, but Tom, talking about his comments, the last person who spoke like that about, I won't let that happen. Kiernan, when we were relegated from the Premier League, I think he said, I'm going to take this team back up. I'm going to take this team back up to the Premier League again. But he is very much like Kiernan, Tom, in terms of not just on the pitch, but his attitude, his character, his personality. He's just an ultimate professional. And I'll tell you what I loved yesterday, Tom, a bit of fight as well, because I don't know if you saw it towards the end of the game. I think he had a little bit of a... I think there was a foul and he picked the ball up, and one of their players kind of, I can't remember who it was, a Wyman maybe, I think, for the ex-Villa player, but he gave him a shove, and that's what you want to see on the, because I always say it, we all say it, right, that we see pussies too much for in Leicester City shirts, and he's not a pussy. He's the opposite.
Well, he did one in the first half where he slammed someone into the touchline, and when he went down the line, he made a really, really hard pass and got the crowd going in.
Yeah.
You would want to. He's going to roll his sleeves up, and I think we do roll over too easy. We do get bullied, and I said it for a long time. The Millwall game is a proven example. Every time we go to Millwall, we get bullied off the park. You don't seem to be able to. You've got to be able to beat a team that has a little bit of nastiness in you in this division, because if you're too nice, you don't win anything. You won't win anything. You won't get promoted. You've got to have that nasty streak in you. You've got to have that one who wants to fight everyone fighting on the pitches, where you win the battles and you push yourself forward to get to goal scoring position. So look, it's good to have him in there. Are we doing a whole show on JJ now, by the way? Is that the next step?
I don't think Locks could cope with it. I think he'd have to go to the little bathroom break soon.
Great.
Oh, man. We'll save it for Valentine's Day, Locks. We'll save it for Valentine's Day.
I tell you what was wrong with that? He might need a wee. You dirty, perverted mind, you lot.
I think the last thing JJ needs is me to know his address. So let's leave it with let's leave that a mystery. But yeah. Okay, moving on. Kate. I wanted to ask you about Jordan Ayew because we've been umming and ahhing all season long about the striker situation at the club. Who should play? I think it changes every single week. How did you find Jordan Ayew yesterday? Because I think in the first half he did relatively well. He should have had a goal as well, which was wrongly disallowed.
Bring back VAR.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, he should have had that diving header goal, Kate. But yeah, what did you think to his overall performance? Because again, I think in the second half when things aren't going all rosy, people are just like, oh, why are we playing Ayew? And it's like, did you not watch the first half? I think he. I mean, you said it to me. He started the move for the first goal.
Yeah, I mean, people are really quick off the mark to highlight the negatives, but not quick off the mark to highlight the positives. I think Jordan struggles to do a full 90 performance. I always find one half is considerably better than the other, and I don't know what happens and what makes that happen. But first half, I thought he was brilliant. Like, he started the move to Fatawu that led to Bobby's first goal. So, it was very easy for Jordan in that pass to pass back to the centre-back, but he just cut back on himself and found Fatawu on the wing because he could see he was there. Like, it was the pass that started the move. And it's those kind of passes that we've been lacking. The default option is always just go back to Vestergaard and he can start the move. It's almost like an OCD approach to our play that's so predictable. Whereas we've started, even Skipp last week in the second half, like, we've started to just turn and go. Just turn, just pass it forward. Luke Thomas has started to do it a bit as well. And it's just quite refreshing to see and takes the heat off the back line and actually sets the attack going. And it gives Fatu and Mavadidi loads more interaction in the game and keeps them interested. So I thought he had a really good first half. The diving header was superb. And what a shame that was ruled out. Like, it was a peach of a delivery from Thomas. Exactly what you want on a plate as a striker. And he did really well. Second half, when your backs are to the wall, we knew they were going to come out. Jordan's not going to feature, is he? He's not going to chase. He's not going to press. But if there is an attack or there is some forward play, he is so much better at holding the ball up than Daka. And I think that showed when Daka came on. I found him almost useless in terms of holding any ball up. He was chasing shadows, as we've all known that he can do. But I understand why he came on. Like, you wanted to try and stretch the game and give some respite. But yeah, I thought Jordan did well. I don't know how you can criticise him, but I do think in yesterday's game, I don't know how you can criticise him, but for me, the poorest performer yesterday by some distance was Fatawu. And he's really on a cold spot at the moment. And I don't know why. I feel like he shouts a lot on the pitch at players. You can see his frustration. Is it because he's not scoring? He needs that lift to score to get him back engaged again. I don't know. But Fatawu for me was average yesterday, whereas everybody else was way above average. But you can't put it on for the full 90. Just like in the attacking part of the game in the first half, you can't call Jakob. Like, Jakob had nothing to do really in that first half, except that incredible save which went off the bar. So, you're not always going to interact throughout the full 90, but I always find you never get the full 90 out of Jordan. It's one half or the other.
Yeah. I think in the second half, especially towards the end of the game, he was clearly blowing. Basically, I think that was quite evident.
Like from minute one.
Yeah. We're not talking about me and JJ here, by the way. That was just for you, Graham. Big shout out to Neil, by the way. The £5 super chat to the bacon or plant-based snack and cod liver oil fund. I will be having a bacon sarnie after the stream. So thanks, mate. Much appreciated. But no, I've got just quickly. I've got the goal here. Well, I hope you'll be able to see it. Imran just sent it to me. So let's see if we can see the diving header. The goal that wasn't a goal. Yeah! Oh! It was like do you remember the Van Persie diving header in the World Cup quite a long time ago? It was like that. But no, we are going to talk about Fatawu, so get your comments in, people, about Fatawu in a second. But yeah, Graham, what did you think to Ayew yesterday? Because again, he's just one of them players that will always get a bit of stick because he's old and slow and whatever. But Kate's right. I mean, for the first goal, we were saying it on stream because like at the end, we were like, "Where's Ayew? Where's Ayew?" But then if you actually look back, he started the move. He was very deep. He won the ball and played Fatawu through, who then ran down the right and played in JJ. So, he was instrumental in that goal, you could say. And, he's not 25. He used to be very quick when he was younger, but he's not that quick anymore. He can't get from our box to their box in 15 seconds like some people would want.
Well, he has to carry that bottom round now, so that's it. But I think he was never signed to score us 20 goals a season. The biggest thing he did for us was take the pressure off everybody else by taking the number 9 shirt. He's got broad enough shoulders to take that. In the first 10 minutes, he made 3 fouls. It's the sum of the parts you get from Ayew. He's a very clever player, knows how to get fouls, knows how to do things. He's probably not the best player, but if you put his whole game together, he's an integral part of the team.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a short answer. That's for me is a short answer. I would pick him because I know what he can do. And second half, I don't think. You can criticise him and carry on, but the game was around him. His job was to try and break up, stop the defenders from coming in. We decided we're going to set up 4-4-1, let them come into our half. So it's not like he was getting. Like I know the stat man said we didn't have a chance in the second half, but so what do you want from an attacking midfielder if we don't get the ball in the position where he can go forward and do something?
Tom, the one thing that did frustrate me a little bit in the first half was I think, he likes to win those fouls, and I think he won a couple, but as the half went on, I think the ref stopped giving them. And I think he kept trying to win them, and rightly or wrongly, right, the ref didn't give them. But I think he was getting a little bit rattled. It seemed when the ref wasn't giving them, especially that one where the ball was played in behind and he was running off the shoulder, and I think he got touched and he went down. But that frustrated me a little bit because it's like I think Daka does it. Tom Daka goes down too easily sometimes, and he never gets them. I just think Ayew is probably a better actor than Patson Daka is. Ayew would get an A in drama school, whereas Patson would probably get a D. But normally it works.
Before you go on, Ox, his best bit of acting was when he was taken off, because he wanted to come off as slowly as he could, and he was shaking his head like, "Why are you taking me off? I'm not." And he bought us another 15 or 20 seconds because he went off there. He wasn't annoyed at being subbed. He was probably bloody relieved, but he played the part of, "Look at me. Why are you subbing me?"
Yeah. Well, what did you think to his performance, Tom?
I thought first half performance he did well. Yeah, he frustrates me because he goes down too easily. He does go down too easily. And when people are standing around screaming it's a foul, and you just go, what game are you watching? Because there's not a foul in it at all. He's gone down easy. He's trying to buy it. He's trying to con the ref. The referees now know it. They do watch games. They do watch players, and reputations go against him now. He has got a rep that he goes down too easily. So unless the referee thinks it's 100% foul, they're not going to give it. His first half performance, brilliant. And I don't really blame him in the second half in the way it happened, the way he went out of the game. We changed what we did. The goal went in, and then for me, we went negative in some ways because we dragged Bobby Reid off because he just got a yellow card. And instead of thinking, right, we need to put someone in that role or change it up a bit, we put Hamza on and we took Georgia James from where he was having a brilliant game as an 8 and put him as a 10 and lost him out of the game completely. You changed too much. For me, then, when he took Ayew off, I think Evans would have been a better player to come on at that point to hold the ball up more. I think he would have done a better job than Daka did. We had no outlets. We had no one doing anything up front for me. And that's nothing against Ayew. Ayew hasn't got the ability to run around the park like a 21-year-old who can. I think Evans would have been a better option. I also look at Evans now because you've got to look on soon. You've got to look at the bigger picture. You're going to have to rely on probably, Evans more than you think when it comes in the next couple of, when Daka disappears off to AFCON for 3 to 4 or 5 games possibly. I just think it's an option to change at that point. And for me, Jordan Ayew didn't have a poor game yesterday. He got pushed out of position and towards the end because nothing was coming towards him and he was breathing. So no, for me, Jordan Ayew had a good game. Frustration goes down, but I'm not stating here blaming him for why we dropped off in the second half. He had no help around him.
Why did Bobby get booked, by the way? What was that silliness about?
Dissent. I think he had a moan at the ref and he got booked. I think was it just after their goal, wasn't it? It was just after their goal.
Didn't he delay the kick? They were saying he delaying
the kick-off, mate. That was it for.
Yeah. So, but I think that's why he came off as well, wasn't it? I think he came off not long after that as well. But yeah, there's two more players, just individual players I want to talk about. We'll save Fatawu to last, but I mean, Oliver Skipp, Kate. I'll tell you what. Actually, before we do it, let me play this because this is what we showed on stream. It's a bit from JJ and Skipp after the game. I don't know if you've seen it, but I'll just play it here. Here we go.
That was more like it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I was saying to the lads then, that's us. That is who we want to be, that's our identity, and I think you saw it today. The first half we were immense. We had to dig in second half, it was tough, but we got the 3 points, that's the main thing.
And unlike the last two games, you were 3-0 up at half-time this time. And where did that performance come from?
Yeah, and we've been working all week on trying to be more resilient and hard to beat, and when you come out the blocks like that and 3-0 up, then it always helps.
Oliver, your first Leicester goal, you skewered it in with your left foot. That fell nicely, didn't it?
Yeah, just from corners, we just tried to be alive, and it dropped to me. Wasn't the cleanest contact, but it went in.
Perfect finish. You've played everywhere the last few weeks, left back, centre back, back in midfield today. How are you finding being Mr. Versatile?
Yeah, wherever the team needs me, I'm happy to help. Back in my more natural position today, but like I said, wherever I'm needed, that's what I'll do for the team.
And that was more.
There we go. So, yeah, Kate, he looks a little bit shell-shocked there, I feel like.
I think he's Oliver's so nervous in front of camera, like it's really endearing.
You could hear his voice, couldn't you? He was stuttering.
Yeah. He was the same, like he gets a bit nervous, bless him. But yeah, I thought he was outstanding yesterday, and we're finally getting his work rate channeled properly, because we've never questioned his work rate and his commitment. But if you can channel it properly and produce goods out of it, then you don't need to rely on effort and application, because you've got that in abundance with him. Whereas Winks is the other way around. You've got talent, but you can't apply it because he's got issues with commitment to the team. Whereas Skipp hasn't. So it's half the battle won, and it's just finding his zone and finding his right partner. I think maybe Winks and Skipp have been too similar all this time, and whilst Winks does edge it in quality, it doesn't reward Leicester because he doesn't want to be here. So we've finally found like maybe a good partnership with two really full-blooded, full of heart young men in the middle. And that's going to bear some fruit. And I'm so glad he got the goal. I mean, it fell so nicely to him. And I thought he did get a sweet connection, to be honest. He swung his leg at it and it was a right rocket. So I think he does himself a disservice there. But yeah, he gets a lot of stick, does Oliver Skipp, and he must have been reading it. He gets a lot of stick about his hairline, about his price tag. It's nothing to do with him, is it? I mean, his commitment is unwavering and his efforts are always unwavering. And look, the last few games he has played in crazy positions, hasn't he? Left back, centre back, and then yesterday he showed like almost a captain's performance really, and got himself in the right areas and really got stuck in. So yeah, I mean, you often find managers stumble upon their best 11 by either because of injury or because of players being hoofed out the squad, and Marty may have done that with this midfield combination for sure.
Yeah, I think someone keeps calling Graham. Someone keeps calling him. Well, I can't hear you now, Graham. I got no audio now, mate. I got no audio. Can't hear you. No, can't hear you. Go out and come back in. Go out and come back in. I'll come to Tom next. I mean, Tom, with Skipp, mate. I think it was a very good all-round performance for him. Like, defensively, he was great. I mean, some of the challenges he was putting in, like, he was, I think you could say maybe sometimes he goes down to ground a little bit too easily in terms of with the challenges, but he won pretty much all of them, and he, I mean, going forwards as well, driving with the ball, but also the passes. I mean, some through balls to Steffi were absolutely exceptional yesterday. So it was he was my man of the match, Tom.
And like I said, I give it to him and Jordan James yesterday. I thought they both were superb. I think Skipp's the perfect complement for James in some ways because he does all the dirty stuff, but he also can play football. The one at the second half where he broke when we were under pressure and he won a free kick because he drove past the player and went down. Sums him up. He read the play, saw the player coming, right, we'll knock it, get the pressure off us. He's a clever footballer. I've said it for a long time. Skipp isn't a bad player. He needs to get some game time to get the performance levels back up to where he was. He's versatile, as we've seen the last few weeks. And also, do you know what? He's not moaned. He's not moaned. There's players who would not even take it, like Southampton away, coming on at half time, go and play left back for me. There's players who go, absolutely not, Gaffer, you're crazy. I'm a midfielder. I ain't playing there. Come on, go centre half against Sheffield United when you're 3-0 down and you're thinking, this could be a cricket score if we don't turn this round the second half. I'm coming on as centre back. I'm going to get crucified if it goes wrong. He didn't. He came on. He put a blooming good performance in. Same yesterday. He plays in natural position, and he's now getting a run of games. He's starting to show what he is about him. Look, we all know he's not a £25 million player, but the player don't decide the price tag. Well, I think sometimes can be a lot of pressure put on them. They get sold for big money, and he's been sold for 25 million. He's got to be worth 25 million if we're paying that. We all said that at the time he was never worth 25 million. What he is worth is a £5 to £10 million player who's a good all-round footballer who played up to the under-21 level for many years. So this boy isn't crap. This boy just needs a run of game to get going, and I think we're seeing that now. Give him a run of game, get his confidence up. Yes, he makes an odd mistake on the ball, but every player does in a match. The difference is he's not scared once he makes that mistake. He rolls his sleep and get the ball again. Some players go hiding. He didn't go hiding. He doesn't. He makes sure he cracks on and keeps winning those balls back. And like you said, some of the balls he was playing for Mamadidi yesterday were, top quality.
Graham, do you think he's just the victim of his own price tag? I mean, I always say about Maguire, right, that all the shit that Maguire got for so long at Manchester United was because he cost £80 million, which isn't his fault. If Maguire went to United for £30 million, I don't think he would have got half the shit that he did. Whereas, and I think it could be similar with Skipp. If he came in as a £10 million man, I think it might have been a completely different story for him, Graham.
Yeah, but again, that's on the fans. That's not on the bloody player. It's not on the fan. I mean, if he'd have turned out, he was bought to be another Winks, and if it had worked out, then that would have been. But it would have. Look, you could see the guy's a nervous wreck. That would have affected him a lot. I think the best thing is he now knows that his mate is not going to be part of the setup. He doesn't have to live in the guy's shadow. He probably enjoyed playing at centre half the second half of last game because it was a different role. The pressure was off him. If it had failed, it wouldn't have been an issue. But the guy clearly cares. He was my man of the match yesterday just for that smile when he scored his goal. He obeyed his instructions, stay in the area, and if the ball bounces to you, leg it. So, I've never been one to get moan about. I mean, it's like when we bought Panic Buy. I can buy you for $5 million. The uproar, that. So, it's the fans that moan about the money. It's like the fans moan about what the players are earning. It's not our money and it's not our choice unless we're going to up the season ticket prices.
What, like, I worked a 70-hour week to go and watch players not put in a performance. Get a 9 to 5, mate. Stick to your 40 hours. That'll do you. Kate. Kate, I like it on a Sunday morning when we're full of spunk, even you. And we've not really been full of spunk this morning because there's not been much to moan about. So feel free to let out your spunk now, Kate. John Percy, after the game yesterday, Winks was not in the squad after issues in training this week and preparation before last Saturday's game against Sheffield United. Coaching staff and some players frustrated. January exit looking very possible. I mean, Kate, what a coward. What a absolute knob Harry Winks clearly must be. We heard stories last season. He was the one brandishing the "We Miss You Enzo" sign. He fell out with Ruud van Nistelrooy and he was exiled from the squad. He didn't that goal he scored against Huddersfield in the cup, where he just kept a straight face, head down, walked back, played his way back into the team, rightly or wrongly, and now this. Whatever that means, Kat, I don't know if you want to speculate, but issues in training and preparation before last Saturday's game. I mean, it's shocking.
Like he was on the source in minute 2, didn't he, with that clearance? So, I don't know what to say about that, and that kind of validates my opinion of why I'm Marty in. You've got your Rolls Royce midfielder being a fox in the hen house, literally, or not a fox, and what's a guy to do? He's come in giving everybody a fair chance, a clean slate. I don't care about what's gone on in the past. Impress me, you'll be in the team. Show the right attitude, you'll be in the team. And if what John Percy says is correct, Winks has just thought he's better than that. He's better than the Championship. You know, he doesn't want to be part of Leicester. And that must be so frustrating for Marty. And what already is an injury-stricken squad, which we have struggled in the middle. We've struggled in the middle since we've let KDH go. And, you know, to have someone like Winks, which is supposed to be a model professional, your true pedigree player. You know, Vardy didn't have the kind of pedigree he's had, and he managed to pull himself together and be professional at all times. And Winks just doesn't seem to want to know. And I find it really, really horrible and disheartening that this is your third season for Leicester, do you not have any commitment to your employer? Like, you've seen us through an amazing season with Enzo in your first year, where he said that was his best season of his career in terms of enjoyment and performances. Do you not have any kind of affinity with us at all? That's really disappointing for me, because we've chanted his name, we've talked him up for, you know, particularly during that first season, and that's how he repays us. I find it really baffling, and is it an indication of the modern footballer? Maybe it is, but I hope people who are so into Marty being sacked can see what he's dealing with now. That's your best player, really, on paper, playing up like that. And what are you supposed to do? If it's frustrations with other players as well, you've probably got Bobby in there and Jordan saying, mate, this guy is an absolute rotten egg. Like, what do we do with him? You know, these guys will have seen many players in the past. They're old enough, have been around the block a few times. And there's only one way to deal with a player like that, as gutting as it is, because Marty will know he's a potential match winner. But you've got to just send him out. You've got to get rid of him. You put Skipp in, and thankfully it's paid dividends yesterday. It might not always, but yeah, Harry's just it's really disappointing. I don't know whether Tom feels like that going to all those games as well in the Enzo season. Like, how do you have no affinity with us after that season that you gave us and we gave you? It's really disappointing.
Yeah, go on, Tom. What are your thoughts on it?
I think if one manager that, you know, falls out with a player, you think, okay, maybe a clash. For two to manage to fall out with the same player, they tell me there's a problem. Well, Faz with a cut above below his eye yesterday as well, by the looks of it, from a screenshot I'd seen, does sum up that there's something has happened in training during the last week. Look, his attitude from the get-go this season was never right. Huddersfield away, he's scoring and then not celebrating. The Leicester fans just turning his back on the Leicester fans didn't go down well. You know, I'm with Kate, you know, for what Leicester have done for him, for a player that, you know, really fell out with love with the game, went over to Italy, you know, because he wasn't getting played for Tottenham. Leicester gave him a chance to come in, prove what kind of player he was, get him back on the pedestal and prove how good a player he is. I'm not saying he's a bad player, because he isn't. We all know in this division, he's probably one of the best midfielders in this division on his day, when he's at the top of his game. For passing, for, you know, vision, he's a quarterback. I always call him a quarterback because he could see where to play the ball. But for me, when a player doesn't want to be here, you can see it as well. And we said that from the start of the season. Winks doesn't want to be here. Faz doesn't want to be here. These players don't care. When they don't care, they ain't going to put performance in. They ain't going to do anything. And like I say, if you've got that rat in the camp, other players start thinking, what's going on? Why is he being played when he doesn't want to be here? And for me, don't want to see him near Leicester again. Like I say, Kate's right, for all what the affection Leicester fans shown him in that first season, for all he did to get the club back to the Premier League. That there was hints of it last season that he wasn't happy when Enzo left straight away. That sign was a disgrace. You know, a footballer calling him, saying we miss Enzo in front of his new manager at the time, you know, Steve Cooper. That was bang out of order. You know, I know Cooper went a couple of games over that, but no manager should have that kind of player in and around his dressing room. For Ruud van Nistelrooy then to say the same things, he doesn't want to, you know, he's not willing to travel and not willing to stay in the down 1 day a week. Where's the commitment to the club? There's no commitment. He doesn't want to be here. So, yeah, for me, I think the club washes hands. I don't think you'll see him play again. And Martin, I really don't. I think he will not be near the squad anymore. And that's the best thing the club can do. Let him go and train with the under-21s. Let him train on his own. And end of the season, he gets a free move anyway, doesn't he? You're not going to ship him out because no one's going to pay the money for him. And no one's going to want to pay the wages he's on at Leicester. So you've got him till the end of the season, really, unless you can get him a loan move.
You'd think something similar, right? You mentioned the not wanting to come to the training ground one day a week. You'd think it's something similar when Percy talks about preparation before the last game. Preparation. Maybe that strikes to me. He didn't want to come and because what was it an early kickoff? What time did we play last week? Was it 3? 12:30. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he wanted to travel up from London to Sheffield on his, you just don't know. It could be something like that.
They may all spend the night together at Seagrave for a 12:30 kickoff the next day. And if you don't want to do that, to bond the night before.
Or they sometimes get coaches up, right, and stay in the city, Sheffield, let's say, the night before the game. Maybe he didn't want to do that, right? And, rightly or wrong. I mean, if that was the case, you could say he probably shouldn't have even started against Sheffield United, but you can understand why Marty would want him in the team, right, with the ability that he has. Graham, we've got...
He made the decision on the Thursday that you're going to start on Saturday, and then he doesn't turn up for Friday night stay over. You're like, flipping out. You've given me a right late notice here. That's what I'm hooking you at half time because you've been shit.
Yeah, I mean, some might come out in due course about it, maybe when he leaves. But Graham, there's rumours he was at Winter Wonderland yesterday, mate. Can you hear that? We've got Harry Winks live from Winter Wonderland. There you go. There you go, mate. There he is.
Why are we giving him so much fucking airtime?
Well, we need to talk.
Talking point, Graham. He's one of our, if not our best player, and he's screwed it.
It's a small grenade. I didn't even take the pin out of that one.
Yeah, we need some spunk on the stream, Graham. So go on, just quick.
Take that pin out.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to come to Marty. I've got a grenade for the Marty conversation, but I think just to give, and I don't want to give Fast some kind of credit, is that he got kicked in the face, didn't he? He had internal bleeding, and that's one of the reasons he was taken off. And maybe that cut above his eye was part of that incident. Wink couldn't get his leg up that high. He used the spunk thing to kick him in the eye. But if you want some shit, I think Marty made all the right decisions in substitutions. I think he nailed it second half. We were, they took, and it doesn't matter how badly Hamza played, he was on the pitch. When you had Luke's donkey or Reed up there, they knew he would be great going forward. But you take him off, and they've got a defender, the Bangladeshi superstar, who's as likely to kick you or whatever. It doesn't matter what he did because he was there, and it changed the dynamic. What I love the most was when we got there and we were getting over the line, and we were struggling. But guess what? That's what happens in a football match. The brilliant decision to bring the youngsters on, not one because they got the legs, but two to let them experience a win.
Yeah,
they brought them on. They could experience a win. And what does that do to a mentality of a young player? Oh, yeah, just played in a match yesterday and won a game for my club.
Oh, it was good to see Bade Aluko as well. Come on, Lewis Page. Did Lewis Page come on? Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, Lewis Page and Bade Aluko, both of them came on, so that was good to see.
There were 7 academy players, I think, Tom. Didn't you say that yesterday on the pitch at one time?
Amazing.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm guessing that's including Luke Thomas and Jakob, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Luke Thomas,
Jakob. I've got to say, if you want a grenade on Jakob, you could almost mark on the touchline where every one of his kicks are going. It's going to go out at this spot. You could get you could get a bet on, right? Get the players to mark the line where they think the ball's going over, and they get the pot.
Yeah. Well, it's better than giving it to the opposition in our own box, isn't it? I suppose that's a positive way to look at it. Kate, Abdul Fatawu. Where to start? I mean, it's not been a great few weeks for him, has it? I think he's done more posts on Instagram than good performances, to be honest. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was a bad performance, Kate. I just think again it was just a very average, nothing too special. Do you think he's maybe the victim, Kate, of him being like, we put all of our hopes on Abdul for quite some time, right? Just because he was the most exciting player in the squad. What are your thoughts on him? Because we've spoken about maybe he needs a rest. Somebody else has put it in the chat here. I mean, since coming back from his ACL, he's played every single league game. Would you maybe pull him out of the firing line a little bit, give him a little bit of a rest? You have options. You have Jake Evans. You have Jeremy Monga. You know, you have other players available who you could play out there. Would you give Abdul a rest?
I don't think physically he's exhausted. I think mentally he's not in a great place. I think he's clearly always bordering on between being frustrated and fuming. And that's what spills over into his social media, which is an indication of his age. He's showing his age quite a bit. Like, just stick to the play on the pitch. I don't mind him answering fans back, actually. I should say that. He gets enough shit, so people should be able to take it back. I'm quite with him on that. But if you can't let go of it in the moment and you can't just discard it and carry on with what you're doing, I think that shows your youth. And I don't think he's quite getting over his frustration. And like Marty's got two really emotional wingers here. I mean, he's had it with Mabadidi, and Mabadidi had a great game yesterday. Like, he was so attacking and aggressive on that fullback. In the first half, that fullback was on the ropes, man. It was brilliant to see. And then you just want Fatawu to feel that from Mabadidi in his upward trajectory at the minute. And I just feel Fatawu is getting really frustrated about the wrong things. I think he gets frustrated when it doesn't go top bins every time he shoots. I think he gets frustrated when people don't pass to him. And I think he gets frustrated when he gets doubled or tripled up on, which is happening all the time. So Marty's got a bit of a man management issue there. And I do think it's emotional. I don't think physically he needs a rest. I think he looks fine. But mentally, he needs some kind of reset, because you've got to be careful if you bomb him out the team because you think, just dial it down a bit and come back fresh. He could completely capitulate if you leave him out the squad. It could really dampen his spirits even further. So he's quite something to manage carefully, Fatawu is, because we all know what he's like. He's amazing, but you do feel like he needs to be buoyed and more buoyant to produce those goods, and he just needs to understand he's not going to score every game, but he can be instrumental, and he was instrumental in goal 1 yesterday. But I don't think he got the joy out of that. He'd have rather scored the goal. Do you know what I mean? He's that kind of player. So he's just got a bit of learning to do to manage his temperament a bit, I think. But we love it. His heart's on his sleeve. He wants to win so much, but he just needs to channel it a bit better. And that's for Marty to do. That's where these managers, for me, really earn their bread. So he really needs to get Fatawu kind of to wipe the slate clean a bit, and just what's happened has happened. You can still crack on, and he could easily still be Leicester's top goal scorer this season.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Tom, on Abdul, mate? How are you feeling about him at the minute?
I just think he's going through one of those patches that young players do, inconsistency. He's a young player. Not everything is going to come off. I think Kate summed it up, actually. When the goal went in, everyone ran off to celebrate. He didn't really go mental that the goal had gone in like he'd done in recent weeks. And I think that's a bit like, you could tell what he really wanted to do in that position was cut inside and smash it in the top corner, because the goal went in and he just started running over. But there was no like all the rest of the players going mental that he didn't. Again, I think it's an age thing, and that's going to happen with playing young players when things aren't going right. They want everything to happen every single time. They want top bins every single time he cuts inside. I think you look at the stat last year, it was 23 games before he smashed one in top corner against Bournemouth, and then he went on a little run of scoring them against Southampton and a couple of other games in a row. This season, Charlton away smashed one in the top corner. Then it was Swansea, but then he's gone dry since then. It is a learning curve from him. Again, I don't mind him having a pop back at fans. If the fans are going to bully him all the time and give shit to him, fair play for sticking up for himself. Yes, it's not ideal and it's not great for PA, and the club will probably be like, mate, you've got to be careful what you're doing. But he's a young lad. He's learned the game. He's got so much potential, and it's raw. It is all raw potential. That's what it is at this age. Let him go and express himself, but don't expect it to be week in, week out. And I think that's what you go with. Wingers are inconsistent. We've seen it over the years. Some good wingers do not turn up for 3 games, but then they'll have 4 games where they're absolutely brilliant, then go missing again, especially at Abdul's age. It's going to take time, but look, you've got to keep him in there. I don't think he needs a rest. I think it's just probably a bit of frustration that he isn't getting the chances he was having, and they're not going in. So, look, keep playing him, because anyone with pace, teams don't like playing against, and that pace that kid's got is scary at times.
Yeah, I just really wanted to quickly as well just play 20 seconds of this. This is what Marty said after the game.
Football, and life is about up and downs. You need to handle, and you need to face adversity. It's not been easy, but the way the group responded, the commitment that I saw, even in the second half when perhaps we shouldn't have let this goal in, and then we had to face another kind of game scenario. I think the commitment from everyone was excellent, so credit to the players for the reaction.
There you go. And then we did obviously a poll like we do all the time, not only when we lose, we did it when we won, and it swung like this. I mean, it was, this is ridiculous, by the way. I mean, it shows how fickle we all are, but it was 75% Marty out last Saturday. Now it's 70% Marty in. Nuts what a win can do. But yeah. Right. Graham, I think you had a bit of gossip for us quickly before we ended, mate. What have you got to tell us? You told me yesterday you got something to tell us.
Okay, well, I'll do that first, but I've got to say I'm all with Tony in the chat about Fatawu, and Tom mentioned it earlier. He might not be on form at the moment, but the minute the ball goes to him, 3 players go towards him, and that's what making his mate on the other side look really good. So just bear with it; it'll come back, but teams will look, and again, it's like me saying about bringing Hamza in. It isn't what Hamza did. It was the fact that they realised we put another defender in midfield to defend midfield player. Talking of defenders, that's what in the radio trade they used to call a segue, is that bumped into Harry Souttar yesterday. I didn't recognise him because the guy has lost so much, use your wood. I mean, he looks like the boy's an athlete. He's slim. Somebody showed his scar, which was, it was like the Northern Line map on the tube. He's got a massive scar, but back ready in January. So we'll get a new player in.
There you go. Harry Souttar.
Any insights?
Sorry, say that again.
Did he say anything else? Did he give any insights or anything?
Absolutely, but obviously I can't. I can't tell you, can I?
Come on.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Look, there are very few players that actually, because the village is next to the training ground. There are very few players that come to the that come into the village, and because he'll get harassed, everyone wants to know stuff. So he's one of the few players. The only one is, who's the guy that is gone now? Who is the guy that got the speeding fine in London? Was it Tillerman?
Fofana.
Yeah, literally one of my mates walked out in the middle of the road and stopped his car and told him, would you just, he was coming through the village at 70 mile an hour, at school time. So, that's the nearest we have to anybody else. So, yeah.
Yeah, I read that. I mean, he's been disqualified. I read that he's racked up 47 points. He's racked up 47 points. Yeah, ridiculous. Just quickly as well, Graham. Just what you were saying there about Fatawu. I mean, this was the first goal. You can see just a screenshot here. You've got the fullback and I think the defensive midfielder comes over to him, and then you've got JJ and all that space there, who then runs behind and does well to play in Bobby Reid. So yeah, but no, yeah, Souttar to come back.
Before we finish on that one, Locks, 2 things about that is, one, they've got to mark him crossing the ball from the right, and they've also got to mark him for cutting inside and having the shot. The thing you don't see in that thing is the Donkey Reeve pulling the defender. It looks like he's going to run into the middle bit, but as the ball goes to James, he makes himself some space and comes out to the right to get his goal.
Yeah, there we go. Chiro, the Souttar is good, but it feels wrong to take Vestergaard out after he's been... Well, we'll see. We'll see what's decided. Souttar will not be rushed in. It was a serious injury, so let's wait and see. Right, we're going to end it there. Thank you to Tom. Thank you to Graham. Thank you to Kate for joining us today. Me and Graham will be at the game next Saturday, won't we? Another game, so... We'll see how that goes.
It's more like Derby than it was Blackburn, eh?
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Blackburn was pretty rough, and that wasn't just because we moved.
Yesterday, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. Well, it was the first half weren't too bad, Graham, but then we sat with Kate in the second half, and it made it a lot worse. So, yeah.
I thought you were going to keep that off stream.
Right, also, cheers, guys. Go on.
Yesterday, it's nice to have a game really quickly on Wednesday, trying to keep the momentum.
Yes, yeah, because I think the last couple of times we won a game, it was like the international break, wasn't it? Instantly after, so it was we
down the bus style.
So, yes. Are you going Bristol, Tom?
I am. Local for me anyway. It's only 45, 50 minutes from
yeah,
nice and local.
Kate, are you going?
Not this
I
time.
don't blame you. A Wednesday night before Christmas down to
I went
Bristol.
the Enzo season, and it was one of the worst performances of the season. I think it was Easter weekend, and it was absolutely dreadful.
I remember that.
Yeah, not this time though. It's a long old way on a Wednesday.
Great. Go to bluetittedglasses.com if you wanted to have a little gander, mate. Bluetittedglasses.com. It's nice and simple. There we go. Right. Cheers all. Thanks everybody. Thanks everybody in the chat. Much appreciated. Make sure to hit a like on the video. And the final thing was next Saturday, just before the Ipswich game, they're opening that. There's a pop-up store in the JC Sports where there's loads of retro shirts and stuff like that. I think it opens from 9 a.m. so you can get yourself down there. But yeah, take care all. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays. And to the F1 fans, enjoy that. It should be a tasty one this afternoon. So enjoy that. Cheers all. See you tomorrow. No more 200 grand, but our new sponsors, the Beautiful Frame, have smashed it with this Jamie Vardy piece. It's unreal. They're a local Leicester business as well, which makes it even better. And not just City, they do prints for other clubs as well. So it's perfect if you are stuck for a birthday or Christmas present for one of your friends or family. Now, the best bit, they have sorted BTG viewers out with a discount. Just use BTG12 at checkout for money off. BTG12. Grab yours now at thebeautifulframe.com. The link is down below.